Hi and welcome to Midweek Musing for Wednesday the 10th of June. One of the powerful stories about the post-resurrection appearances of Jesus is when he appears to his followers in a locked room and then a week later reappears again. We find it in John 20, verse 19 to 29. Please stop the video here and read that passage to remind yourself of what happens. It's the story from which, among other things, Thomas gets the unfortunate and probably undeserved nickname of Doubting Thomas. But I think it's got some interesting parallels to what we're experiencing at the moment. And it raises some challenging questions for us as well. The first thing we see in the story is the disciples were together, but they were together behind locked doors. They were together. They had a shared history, a shared relationship with Jesus. They'd spent 3 years together. That was keeping them together. They'd seen Jesus crucified, but they'd also heard stories from Mary about seeing Jesus alive again, and they were trying to work out what it meant. They were together. But they were also behind locked doors. They were afraid that they would be next, that the authorities would be seeking them out to finish the job that they had started when they crucified Jesus. And our situation over the last few weeks has, for many of us, been living behind closed doors. Not locked to keep out the authorities, but closed as part of protecting ourselves from exposure to this virus. Not afraid of the authorities, but going along with their guidance and regulations. And for many of us, it's been a challenging and difficult time as we try and work out what is going to happen next. And then Jesus appears among them. Locked doors are no bar to his appearing among them. Social distancing does not apply to him. And we see some wonderful things. He comes and stands among them. He does not keep separate, but he comes right into their context and situation. He does not wait until they're ready to come outside. He joins them in their isolation. He speaks words of peace to them. He shows them the marks of Calvary, a reminder of his death, but also of his victory over it. No wonder they were overjoyed when they saw Jesus. He gives them a job to do, sending them out into the world. He gives them his spirit. He gives them power and authority. It must have been a wonderful experience for those who were there, but Thomas was not. The others tried to explain it, but that wasn't enough for him. He would only believe if he saw Jesus and touched the marks of the cross in his body. And then a week later, Jesus does appear again. Thomas is with them. Jesus recognizes and speaks into the questions Thomas has and invites him to see and to touch, to not doubt but to believe. But as it turns out, seeing Jesus is enough for Thomas. He recognizes who he is. He celebrates what he has done. And one of the challenges caused by this virus, one of the difficulties we face, is that we are all working through this differently. In normal times, if you remember what those were, we have the privilege of meeting up on a Sunday morning as family, sharing together, experiencing together, being united and appreciating what God is doing and saying, and this helps us to move forward together. But that is not the case at the moment. We have some wonderful blessings, being able to connect up over Zoom, having access to online services, people able to listen to talks over their phone, buddies ringing people up to talk with them. And these are really important and enabling things. But it does not fully replace what we have missed, and for some, there is little or no engagement at all, and for a wide range of reasons. God is speaking many powerful things into our lives, but when we are able to be all back together, whatever that might look like, some of us will not have been part of that journey. Others will have been some part of it, yet others will have been on different journeys. So when we try and share what God has been saying, how will it be received? How do we journey together as family with those constraints on us? Here's some questions to think about. How does the story of Thomas help us to relate to those who are missing out at this time? With us all being on different journeys, How could we bring all of those experiences together so we can reflect on them as family? How do the words of Jesus to the disciples and Thomas comfort you and challenge you today? And are there areas where you are doubting and Jesus is calling you to believe? May God bless you as you seek to meet with the risen Jesus.